In this video, we're going to look at solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. The equation that we're looking at is 3x squared equals 6x minus 1, and again over here on the right hand side in blue we have the quadratic formula written out. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now most of the time you're probably not going to be given that on a test or something, so that's something you want to memorize, but that's what we're going to use to solve this problem. So the first thing we need to do whenever we're trying to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula is we need all the terms on one side equal to 0. So we need to move the 6 and the 1 to the left hand side. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides and we're going to add 1 to both sides. So rewriting our problem, we'll have 3x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. And we have to do this before we pick out our a, our b, and our c. So now that we have all the terms on one side, the a is going to be the coefficient of the x squared term, the b is going to be the coefficient of the x, and c is going to be our constant. And so our a for this problem is going to be 3, b is going to be equal to negative 6, and c is going to be equal to 1. So now we can go ahead and plug those values into our quadratic formula. So we have x is equal to, so negative b, that will be negative 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that will be negative 6 squared, minus 4 times a, that's 3, times c, that's 1, all over 2 times 3, or 2 times a. And so now we can go ahead and simplify this by working out some things under the radical. We can multiply the 2 times the 3. We can also multiply the negative times the negative 6. So starting there, negative times the negative 6 is going to give us positive 6, plus or minus the square root. Negative 6 squared is going to give us 36, minus 4 times 3 times 1, that would be minus 12. All over 2 times 3 is 6. And now continuing to simplify, we have 6 plus or minus the square root. 36 minus 12 is going to give us 24, all over 6. Now that's a good answer, but it's not the most simple answer. And at this point, you always want to look at the term with the square root, and you want to say, okay, can we take the square root of, in this case, 24 cleanly? And the answer is no. But then you want to ask yourself, can we simplify it by finding factors of 24, one of which is a perfect square? And the answer to that question is yes. Let's go on over here to the right hand side and let's do a little bit more work. So what we can break 24 into, let's go ahead and write our 6 plus or minus. We can break the square root of 24 into the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 6, because 4 times 6 gives you 24. And the reason we're going to do that is because you can take the square root of 4. So we can do that. 6 plus or minus the square root of 4 is going to give us 2 times the square root of 6 all over 6. And having done this, we now have 3 terms, 2 on top and 1 on bottom, all of which are divisible by 2. So we can cancel a 2 out of the 6 on top, the 6 on bottom, and the 2 on top. So if we divide everything by everything by 2, 6 divided by 2 is going to give us 3, plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is going to leave us with a 1, so just square root of 6 over 3. Again, 6 divided by 2 gives us the 3. And so that's going to be our answer. X is going to be equal to 3 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 3. Now, another way this answer could be expressed, sometimes it's going to be expressed just like this, where everything's written all together, but it could be broken up into 2 potential solutions. So it may look like this. X is equal to one of the numbers in the set 3 plus the square root of 6 over 3, and 3 minus the square root of 6 over 3. So it's possible that you'll see the answers broken up like that separately, the plus and the minus taken as each of their own answers, but either way is perfectly okay.